Good afternoon, and thank you for watching the LFO Show. The LFO was envisioned by Xandra. Xandra normally hosts the show, but today I am going to be hosting it again on her behalf. This is the second part of a three-part series. The first part was love. Today's episode is forgiveness, the F in the LFO Experience. Before we go into the episode, I want to let everyone know that there will be an upcoming LFO Experience in Salt Lake City, Utah on Saturday, March 22nd. So we are just getting the details from all the presenters, so save the date. If you want to find out more information as it's available, please check out the website at www.lfoexperience.net. And you can find out information about upcoming LFO experiences, about the LFO show, about anything related to LFO. So again, www.lfoexperience.net. So today's episode is dedicated to forgiveness. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, the day of love, and it seems that in most conversations I've been hearing and in writings that I've been reading, when one mentions love, in the same breath they mention forgiveness. Like they're intertwined. You can't have one without the other. So if you missed the love episode, you can find it in the Underground Radio archives. And you can also find a link to that from the LFO website as well. So check out the love episode. And now we will begin the forgiveness episode.
That is aha. That's an aha moment. I always love those moments on the Oprah Show when somebody said something that made us look at life in a completely new way.
Well, the little hairs on my head rose when you said that, so I know that was a bing, bing, aha moment. There are little bing, bing, bingers going off right now.
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing. Anybody binging?
After 25 years and more than 30,000 guests, that's talking to a lot of people, it was one man's definition of forgiveness that changed my life.
Gerald, you mentioned that the secret to really finding true happiness is forgiveness. What do you mean by that?
It really means letting go of the past. It really means letting go of our perception that we need to hold a grievance the rest of our lives. That if we really want to hold on to grievances, we'll never really be happy. It's really a willingness to see the person in the light of love rather than in the action that happened. So it's really changing the perception, and it really means letting go of the past that we thought we wanted. You know, we can't really change that past, so it means really releasing the negative perception of it and coming back to the present.
That was a transcendent moment for me, bigger even than an aha.
He said, forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be any different.
I think for myself, and I know many of you, you think forgiving means accepting what has happened to you. Well, it is accepting that it has happened to you. Not accepting that it was okay for it to happen. It is accepting that it has happened, and now what do I do about it? Forgiving is giving up the hope, not holding on, hoping, wishing that it could have been any other way than it actually was. Giving up the hope that the past could be any different. And when I got that, I think it took me to the next level of being a better person, because I don't hold grudges for anything or any situation, and neither should you. It's letting go so that the past does not hold you prisoner, does not hold you hostage.
Are you ready for some forgiveness? Please close your eyes, take some slow, deep breaths, and allow yourself to relax. Begin to reflect on the incidents and circumstances from your life that still weigh you down with guilt, shame, remorse, or regret. Allow yourself to answer the following question. What do you most need to be forgiven for? Maybe you feel guilty and need to be forgiven for something you did to a friend or family member. Maybe you still regret something that you didn't do or say. Open your eyes, pick up your journal, and take a minute to write down a few things that you feel you really need to be forgiven for. Take another 15 seconds and finish up. And if you need more time, you can press pause until you're ready to go on. Now close your eyes, take another slow, deep breath, and imagine how your life would be different if you no longer felt the burden of guilt, resentment, regret, or shame. Could you create healthier relationships or feel worthy enough to have more money, love, success, and pleasure?
What would you do? We're having a brief pause in the video, and we will continue momentarily on the theme of forgiveness. Think about it for a moment. Have you forgiven yourself? Is there somebody else in your life that you need to forgive in order to move forward? Forgiveness is so freeing. So we're going to begin the forgiveness meditation again. Since there was a pause, we want you to experience the whole thing.
That is aha. That's an aha moment.
I always love those moments on the Oprah Show when somebody said something that made us look at life in a completely new way.
Are you ready for some forgiveness? Please close your eyes, take some slow, deep breaths, and allow yourself to relax. Begin to reflect on the incidents and circumstances from your life that still weigh you down with guilt, shame, remorse, or regret. Allow yourself to answer the following question. What do you most need to be forgiven for? Maybe you feel guilty and need to be forgiven for something you did to a friend or family member. Maybe you still regret something that you didn't do or say. Open your eyes, pick up your journal, and take a minute to write down a few things that you feel you really need to be forgiven for. Take another 15 seconds and finish up. And if you need more time, you can press pause until you're ready to go on. Now close your eyes, take another slow, deep breath, and imagine how your life would be different if you no longer felt the burden of guilt, resentment, regret, or shame. Could you create healthier relationships or feel worthy enough to have more money, love, success, and pleasure? What would be available to you if you forgave yourself? When you hear it, just open your eyes and pick up your journal and take a minute to make a few notes. And take about 15 seconds to finish up. And if you need more time, press pause until you're ready to move on. And now we're going to do a beautiful process and allow yourself to speak all that you want to be forgiven for. Place your hand on your heart. Breathe deeply and consciously, and just say, I forgive myself for, naming each thing you want to be forgiven for. Slowly and intentionally say them out until you've named everything you can think of. And when you're done, gently take your hand away and say a silent prayer to be relieved of the burden of your past. As you do this, Continue to breathe consciously and deeply until you feel complete. And then take a minute to journal about this experience. If you need more time to do this, press pause until you're ready to go on. And now take another deep breath and thank yourself for doing this exercise, acknowledging that forgiveness is a process. Give yourself permission to let go of the past and move into the future now. You deserve it.
Nelson Mandela may have passed on, but he leaves a legacy of love and forgiveness. Is there a psychological benefit to that? Science investigates. Hey everyone, Trace here for D News, looking into the science of forgiveness. Humans are a complex mix of emotional states which all evolved to serve a purpose. For a long time, forgiveness was thought to be in the realm of religion and philosophy. But science has begun to study the idea of forgiveness and the psychological and health impacts of letting go of internalized conflict. During apartheid, Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for nearly 3 decades. When he was finally freed in 1990, he refused to hold on to anger or resentment toward his oppressors, saying, "As I walked out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison." One could say that Nelson Mandela is self-actualized, which is described in psychology theories as what a man can be, he must be. One of the keys of this is to forgive. Mandela was a preacher of love and forgiveness. Writer William Hazlitt believes without someone to fight, without someone contrary, humans wouldn't survive. We need a villain to have a hero. Even in the Roddenberryan utopia of Star Trek, humans still have contrary feelings. But though it's difficult, why is forgiving important, scientifically speaking? Remember, we're animals. We evolved forgiving because those who were able to forgive were able to produce more offspring. A psychologist from Duke University writes humans were unable to rely on their speed, their fighting skill, their strength, or size to defeat predators. Instead, they had to form cooperative groups, and thus natural selection tipped toward those who were accepting, supportive, and helpful. The study of forgiveness is relatively new, and so far science has shown forgiveness has a genetic component, but can also be taught and passed through social interaction. When people were asked by researchers to think about a time they suffered a wrong, their heart rate, muscle tension, and blood pressure all increased. They reported feeling less in control of themselves and were under significant stress. Forgiveness alleviates those problems and allows the human animal to heal. Psychologists define interpersonal forgiveness as a shift in thinking where the desire to do harm lessens and the desire to benefit the relationship increases. A study funded by the John Templeton Foundation found that when people were able to forgive, they had lower resting blood pressures and they could more easily cope with chronic pain, while patients holding on to anger and resentment experienced aggravated pain. Another study in Michigan found those who refused to forgive had higher levels of cortisol, a major stress hormone produced by the adrenal gland and a natural steroid, while the Mayo Clinic says those who practice this shift in thinking have lower incidences of depression, better functioning immune systems, and nervous systems. They also had lower rates of heart disease. Ultimately, outside of direct biological benefits, social science done by Stanford University indicates forgiveness can help interpersonal relationships flourish. Taken together, forgiveness lets the body physically relax and mentally heal, which I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty great. No wonder Mr. Mandela lived for so long and accomplished so much. His body was content, relaxed, and stress-free. Have you ever had trouble forgiving? What did you do to finally let go? Tell us in the comments below the video, and thanks a lot for watching D News Today. Subscribe for more.
You were so cold to my friends and so incredibly rude.
I do have value. Damn it.
I need to forgive so then that I'm not bitter towards the next guy that comes around.
Forgiveness. What does that even mean? Does it mean admitting you're wrong? Is it a sign of weakness? If you ask for it from somebody, do you lose the upper hand? How many times have you decided not to forgive somebody and maybe they didn't deserve it? What's the point? Why even bother, right? Hey, it's fine, it's none of my business. We don't have to get into them. Let's get selfish for a minute. What's in it for you? What would you say if I told you that psychologists have found a substantial correlation between reduced stress, better heart health, lowered anxiety, lower pain perception, and most importantly, higher overall happiness, all attributed to your ability to be a forgiving person? Well, today we thought we'd dive in, check it out for ourselves. As usual, we brought in a selection of subjects, gave them all a test that gave us a fairly good idea at their current level of happiness. And as usual, they had no idea what we were doing. We started by asking them to close their eyes and picture somebody that they were currently holding a grudge against, or had some sort of unresolved conflict with.
Okay.
You got that person in mind?
Mm-hmm.
Then we asked them to write out who this person was, what the event was that caused this tension between them, how they felt about it, and then most importantly, we asked them to, in their own words and in their own way, try and forgive that person. You had a bit to say, didn't you?
A bit, yeah.
Well, it's my sister.
We dated.
It's kind of been in my head a lot, so getting it down on paper kind of gave me an image of what I felt pretty much.
Well, this particular person was my stage partner in a magic act that me and this person did together.
Go on.
Yeah, we never got to hang out as often as I wished.
Since you already have it all written out, do you think you'd be willing to share it with us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It was, a colleague at work.
Oh, there's one more bit to this. Would you be willing to do it into a mirror?
Mirror.
Yes.
Sure. I feel like we're work colleagues, and we should have more of a common respect for each other.
So we started trying to develop a different show together, and as that started happening, everything started breaking down, and we just would get into worse and worse fights.
This person was a girlfriend I had a while back. Things escalated quick with us, and we enjoyed each other's company, but what I found out about her, I couldn't bring myself to forgive.
I would love to be valued at work. Appreciation, just a small, at the end of the day, thank you. You did a good job.
This is a case of just knowing someone for a very long time and being just the one person that he always went to when things would go wrong.
I found out that most of the stories she told me about her life were all lies.
He just decided to up and essentially leave for 4 months and completely ruin any chances I had of starting another act.
I'm not sure if she was just trying to seem like an interesting person or just wanted some attention, but she already had mine.
And I've tried to forgive you. I've tried to forgive you many times for acting this way, and it seems like when I do, I open myself up to getting just the door slammed in my face again.
I am valid as a performer. I do have ideas, and I can create things, and I have created things.
In order for me to completely forgive you, I feel like I need to feel the respect that you give to everybody else on me as well. I don't feel that.
However, now that I'm out in Los Angeles, thousands of miles away from home, I'm afraid I'll never have as great of a chance to help you through life struggles.
You never know who to trust, but I can't put everything on him. But when it did end, I was a little relieved because I didn't do it on my own for this whole 7 years.
We were doing this act for 4 years, and I got really like, even though you know, like you can logically understand that you do have value in the world, if you want that from one particular person, it's just going to take a little while to let go of everything.
And I know at times that I am a difficult person.
Sometimes we want to change people.
I feel like it would be better if we could forgive each other and just kind of start anew, even when people make mistakes.
I want you to know that I do care about you, that I'm always thinking about you. If there's ever anything that you need from me, I'll be there for you.
If you could just treat me just like you do, you know, your best friend at work, I think we'd be completely cool.
I've had to keep a lot of stuff in, so it feels good to...
Having a grudge is yeah, it's not fun, and it's sometimes forgiveness just comes from within. You just learn to forgive and learn to move on.
Well, the results are in, and we found in our subjects an average increase in happiness of 8%, but the highest increase was 28%. Now, what does this mean about forgiveness? Most people think forgiveness is something that takes two people, a forgiver and a forgivee. But what we found today is reaping the benefits of forgiveness doesn't require anyone, except you. Now, it doesn't mean you have to reconcile with them or even say a word to them, because forgiveness doesn't mean excusing or forgetting what happened. Forgiveness is something you do for yourself to lower your psychological distress by getting rid of those negative emotions. So, is there anybody from your past that you're holding a grudge against? I've shown you the door. Now it's up to you to walk through it. I'm Julian, and this has been The Science of Happiness.
So Pancake, subscribe!
Now we're going to lead you in a forgiveness empowerment, an ascension empowerment.
When you are relaxed, take in 2 or 3 gentle breaths and focus on the rhythm of your breathing, gently in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now imagine above you a beautiful beam of white light. And as you open your chakra centers, take the beam of light through the top of your head and bring it right through the whole of your body, spreading to your toes, your fingers, the tip of your nose, your ears, everything about you. Let this wonderful white light penetrate everything. As you are sitting in this warmth, allow it to penetrate further. Allow it to filter through your bones, through your inner organs. Illuminate them, getting rid of any nasty things there, any pain. Cover it in white light, every corner. And still further, filter this through your bloodstream. The little corpuscles running madly around your body at this time, every one of them, little pinpoints of light. Feel the energy coursing through you. Now, imagine yourself in a cool, quiet place of your choice. You may choose a temple or a pyramid or even a favorite room, somewhere confined where you may sit and illuminate yourself with this light. When you are in your space, visualize a doorway out. Now gently rise, turn toward the doorway and walk through it. It is light, it is warm. Your feet now touch green grass. There is beauty and peace all around you. The air is heavy with birdsong, and in the distance you hear the gentle running of a stream. The sunshine is bright and covers you in warmth and love. Walk towards this stream. See the clarity of the water and feel its cool touch. Bathe yourself in its healing waters. Let it carry away in its path the dross and the dullness of this world. Let it take away your pain, your heartache, all things that will tie you to this earth. Let them float gently away. As you step out on the other side, you're invigorated, strangely at peace and shining bright. Look toward the front and you can see a mountaintop that reaches high into the clear air. It is that place that we would like to be right now, atop the mountain where you can see clearly everything. Go to the mountaintop, but not with your feet, but with your thoughts. If you want to go beyond the mountaintop, it is well within your reach. Now go through the skies to touch the stars. Look back on your world, bright and shining in the sky. It is your world. You have created it so. You have healed it. Gently return to the mountaintop. Feel its coolness. Take it deep within you, the serenity and the peace. Now we will begin our forgiveness meditations, starting with self-forgiveness. Visualize yourself in front of a mirror. Hug yourself. Look at yourself with love. You might imagine that you are looking at your child's body, for indeed your body is your creation. Just for a moment, forget your flaws in loving acceptance. Say to yourself, I forgive you for all of the times you let me down. I know we agreed beforehand to experience all of these things together in order to learn. Thank you for your willingness and courage. I love and appreciate you for all that you are. Let the love from spirit flow throughout your body in every organ, nerve, bone and cell. Let this high frequency energy nurture your body from inside out, replacing any dense resistance with joy and light. Take some time to do this. Relax and enjoy it. Feel the surge of renewed energy and well-being. know that this inner peace is a gift you can give to yourself at any time. By doing so, you gain a powerful ally in your ascension process. Part 2. Forgiveness of significant others. One at a time, visualize everyone with whom you have ever had a significant dealing with in your life. Parents, siblings, mates, children, bosses, landlords, teachers, anyone. Tell them that you forgive them for any harm that you have ever felt that they have done to you. Remember that it was all done by prior agreement, even if you don't remember it at this time. Thank them for fulfilling their part of the bargain. Tell them that you love them. Now visualize a lovely pink light coming directly out of your heart chakra and dissolving completely over them. It dissolves any animosity and sets you both free from any heavy emotions. When you feel complete with one person, move on to the next. Finally, universal forgiveness. Say to yourself, I forgive anyone I think has harmed me in this or any lifetime, anywhere, on any plane. I forgive all debt and erase all karma. I choose light for myself and for all myselves. It is done. Now finally, find yourself back at the riverbank where we started. Once again, you see the doorway that you came in. Freely partake of the ambience and the warmth around you and return here with us. Move your fingers and your toes. Wriggle them and know that you are firmly planted here. Now it is important that you listen to what I say. Once you have finished this meditation or any others, it is important to close your chakra centers. You can imagine them as you like little portholes or windows or doors, but you must seal them. Seal the energy and light, serenity and peace in. Close each of them individually and seal it with love. Do this each time you wish to partake of this meditation or in any other occasion when you open your chakras in any way. Love and light, Danny.
So that was our forgiveness show, day after Valentine's. Love and forgiveness to all. Again, there is an upcoming LFO Experience in Salt Lake City. Hope you can join us there. See you next time on the LFO Show, next Saturday at 1:11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.